We got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens. Let me just hit you with projections. I like both defenses here, by the way, but I don't think you can go against these offenses because I love both offenses. Mahomes, I don't have a start grade on him with respect to the Baltimore Ravens defense, but you're starting Mahomes. I'm starting him. I'm not sitting him anywhere. The only thing is I'm just not going to buy him in daily fantasy because the budget's going to be too high. I do not have a start on Edwards-Helaire. I don't like this matchup for him. He's going to get receptions and everything, but he's not going to be able to push the pile against this Ravens defensive line. That's going to be an issue. We saw Darwin Thompson taking snaps away. By the way, in crunch time, it was 4th and 1 in Kansas City, had to get that first down. It wasn't Edwards-Helaire getting that snap. It was Darwin Thompson. That's something we've been talking about on this podcast. It's happening, everybody. Tyreek Hill, I think he's a start. I think the Ravens do a great job on him. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a start. Watkins, these other receivers, another secondary receiver would be good. Is it going to be Hardman, Robinson, Watkins? I don't know. Flip your coin, roll your dice. Travis Kelce's a start. Lamar Jackson, I do have a start projection on, and obviously you're going to start him anyway. Ingram is a start to me. I actually have Dobbins over Edwards as a start. Again, flip your coin there. You might like Edwards over Dobbins. Marquise Brown's a start, and Mark Andrews is a start, and I'm staying away from the other receivers with the Ravens. Now, I know you love yourself some Baltimore Ravens. Why don't you take it away, David?
Well, I just want to talk about last year because this was one of the great games last year, and just kind of look over how the teams performed last year. I don't believe we had Tyreek Hill in the game last year. It was a 33-28 win for Kansas City.
I believe, by the way, I think Tyreek Hill did play that game because I remember a weird, Mahomes threw it into double coverage.
4th down, that's what I thought, but I'm looking at the game recap here. Maybe I have the wrong one. Maybe this is, I don't know. But the one I'm looking at was with Mark Ingram when he had the 3-touchdown game. And it was early in the season, and I remember it distinctly because I had Mark Ingram bench like an idiot. So I think this is going to be another good game for Ravens running backs. I think they're going to look to them on the goal line. Last year, Marquise Brown only had 2 receptions for 49 yards. I like him a lot more this year. He was obviously a rookie dealing with his injuries. Mark Andrews only had 3 receptions for 15 yards, 0 touchdowns last year. So I am tempering my expectations for Andrews just a little bit. Again, it's a new year. Ravens are taking the next step. But I do think it's going to be running back centric for the Ravens. I think they're going to try and control the ball. I think they're going to try and run the clock a little bit, not let Mahomes kind of maintain possession.
Yeah.
So I think it's Ingram. I don't love him this year. He was on my all fade list. I do think he's got a good chance at a touchdown this week. I think Gus Edwards, this is not going to be the week for him. This is going to be the week where J.K. Dobbins is that second back. He's going to get some work in the receiving game. So I'm starting Dobbins as well. I think I would be willing to start Ingram, Dobbins, Brown, or Andrews, and if I own them in any of these matchups. Same with the Chiefs. You're starting your Chiefs. I will disagree with Edwards-Helaire just because I think the Ravens defense right now is really, really, really strong on the outside at those 2 cornerback spots. I think Sammy Watkins getting shut down against Marcus Peters. I think Marlon Humphrey is going to contain Tyreek Hill. We'll see about how they're able to do against Kelce. I think Kelce's the one who could be in for a big game this week. I also think Edwards-Helaire. I like the Ravens linebackers. Again, they're rookies, though. Talk about Patrick Queen. Talk about the other guy, Malik Harrison. Rookies with speed, but I think they're going to maybe struggle in the pass coverage a little bit, maintaining Edwards-Helaire. I think Hilaire's got a good chance at maybe 8 receptions in this game.
I think they're going to have to use him in the receiving game because both of these offenses are actually going to want to play ball control because the last thing Kansas City wants is for Baltimore's run game and their offensive line to be leaning on them all game because that's going to neutralize them. And then similarly, Kansas City, you have to do something to slow down this defense. Baltimore's defense is always good. The interesting thing about this is these were the top 2 teams in the AFC last year. Both of these teams today are better than when they played last season. They hadn't had Baltimore did not have Peters yet at that point. Mahomes might have already been dealing with his injury. I know Tyreek Hill, even if he was back or whatever it was, he was a little bit limited. The Kansas City running game wasn't there. They didn't have somebody of Edwards-Helaire's caliber. Both of these teams are better. What is interesting to me from a spread point of view is that Kansas City at some point had a cornerback or defensive back banged up, and they were down to 3 active cornerbacks in their roster. That's going to be a problem. Look, to me, this is the classic last possession wins kind of matchup here. I think Baltimore definitely had the better week 2. They've looked more crisp as a team. Kansas City in week 1, I thought they played a nice game to open the season. I thought last week, like, I don't know, they looked hungover or something. Like, they just never got – and you got to credit the Chargers defense. I mean, the Chargers defense is very, very underrated. Kansas City's going to play better. They're going to rise to the challenge. We're going to get playoff caliber, deep playoff caliber type football. This is going to be a fantastic game. So let me hit you with the line. It's Kansas City +3 at Baltimore. Who do you got, David?
You know I'm taking my team. Baltimore, I'm taking them every single week. That's my team. And I just will say I did confirm here that Tyreek Hill game that we're remembering, that was 2 years ago. That was
kidding.
Lamar Jackson's rookie season when they were about to eke out that win. And then Tyreek Hill, I think it was 4th and 26 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But he was inactive for the game last year.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, but the game, when I wrote down...
in that week, 2 years ago, I should say, 8 for 39 and a touchdown for Tyreek Hill in that game.
Yeah, he's a nut. That guy's so good. Baltimore, I figured you'd be taking Baltimore. You're not going to pick against them. When I wrote down the score, here's the deal. When I wrote down the score this morning, because I always like to write down the scores first and then look at the lines and see kind of how I compare, I had Baltimore winning this game 34-30. But it's a last possession game. You're talking about Patrick Mahomes getting 3 points. I know it's Baltimore, but Patrick Mahomes plus points, how can you ever bet against that? I'm sorry. I'm gonna take Kansas City. Even though I myself picked the Ravens to win by 4, I'm just going to take the value. Anytime Patrick Mahomes gets points, I think you got to go with it. But Baltimore, I'll be honest with everybody, Baltimore fans. I mean, I've seen it on tape. I see what you're watching. Baltimore has played a crisper brand of football so far, and it just did not look like Kansas City cared much about the game yesterday. Kansas City, they're Super Bowl champs, man. They want to win in January and February. They're a Super Bowl pedigree. I feel like both teams are going to show. I don't care. I'm not going to bet on it. I'm just looking forward to watching this game. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great football to watch. Look at these matchups from week 1, man. We got week 3, Green Bay, New Orleans. We got Kansas City, Baltimore. Dallas, Seattle. That's going to be like a fireworks game. We're going to see a lot of points there. Rams, Buffalo. That's 2 playoff caliber teams playing there. Just a lot of really good stuff on TV this week. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Anything for the crowd before we sign off, David?
I don't know. I think we gave him plenty, don't you think?
I know. Yeah, it's
if that ain't enough, don't come back because that's the best we got.
There you go. It's a long, long podcast. So, hey, everybody, thanks for picking up. Dave and I will be back next week. We can't get to the bye week soon enough, man. We're talking about each game for 10 minutes here, but it's a lot of good football, a lot of storylines. So appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back next week. Thanks, everyone.